So I only got disciplined once I applied these 7 key habits. So I got engaged, I got married, I read 70 plus books, and yes, I had to shut down the business and start a brand new one. In the meantime, I still managed to stay in shape. So in this video, I'm going to show you how discipline in these 7 key principles changed. Number 1, I valued my time. And what I mean by that is I realized that I've got 80 to 90 rounds around the sun. And when you put in that aspect, it allows you to, I think a lot of us, or myself, used to think, I've got time, I'm young, I'm 26, I'll be alright, I'll be fine. But when you're now saying, we've got around
75 springtimes, 75 summers, and 75 autumns. When you look at it like that, it's not a lot of time, is it? Don't waste it.
That bit is a lot of my friends, right, didn't get to see that. They didn't get to see 80 rounds. They were done at the 3rd round. Some of them were done at the 20th round, 2nd round, around the sun. So the fact that we don't actually have that much time puts things into perspective, because it allows me to understand that, you know what, you ain't got that much time, bro. So you better make sure that every single second, every single day counts. So that's number 1. I disconnected myself from things that did not add value to me. So what I mean by that is I followed blogs, gossip blogs, stop watching news, pretty much a lot longer than that, to be fair. But anything that I felt like, oh, this isn't gonna help my mindset, this isn't gonna build my mindset, this isn't gonna help. And if you're just like me and you fuck with 50, you think he's cool, you just follow him, you'll be alright, you don't listen to anything. So at number 3, I put raise my standards and enhanced my emotional control. Now, my standards initially were try your best to read a book a month, and if you don't do it, it's okay, right? And that was my standard pretty much for a very, very long time. However, I came across this video from Patrick David, where he shared that your standard should be, you need to do a minimum of 8 books a month. The average person reads 12 books a month, but you want to be a CEO, you want to run things, you want to understand how the biggest minds in this world work, you need to be putting in the same input they're putting in, right? Because that's what they can control. And their minimum input is 8 books a month. So you should be doing nothing less than that. And when you put it into that perspective, I was like, shit, if I want to become a millionaire, if I really want to do this, I need to raise my standards. So my bare minimum now became 8 books a month. And I wasn't going to miss that. I wasn't going to, because I understood now that I'm working towards the end goal. So my goal, if I now need to work towards a goal, I need to make sure that my daily steps, my weekly steps are in line with that goal in order for me to achieve it. When you create this standard, instead of allowing things to say, let me just try this or try that, it's very difficult for you to not just bet on yourself, but it's very difficult for you to fall back on your own word. I realized that unless I can control the outcome, which means that it depends on my input, I let go of it. So, can I do something about this? No. Can I fix this? No. I need to convince the other person to fix it then. If I have to convince you, or I need to speak to this, let go. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, it's okay. Reinvented myself. Now, I've come from a place where teachers thought I wasn't going to be much, because I was accepted the fact that I'm crazy. But out in the world as a weird person, it's very difficult for you to fit in. It's very difficult. So I realized not everyone has to like me. So from a very young age, I realized that I just need to do what I want to do. If people like me, great. If they don't, it's cool. I'll be alright. And when I say reinvented myself, I just decided that as a blank canvas, full of experiences, I now decide what direction I want to take. So what information I want to receive. So what I mean by that is, as I added the 8 books a month, as a minimum standard, I didn't have time to do many of the other things, such as scroll on social media, listen to music, or just poison my mind with different things that are happening with the current society and world. I didn't have the time, because this is my standard. I thought I hate these books, otherwise I'm in trouble, right? So, in other words, as I raised my standard, it became impossible for me to have time to do other things, such as what I've just mentioned. And what that done is, if I could describe it, is weekly I was reading 2 to 3 books, right? And then here and there, if I wanted to enjoy or wanted to vibe, I just listen to some scraps of Blake Brown or Fredo, and then just go about my business, right? And as I reprogrammed my mind to, was so much easier for me to understand and grasp, because I'm not asking how do I do this, how do I do that? No, because I understand that every single person that's done something or has achieved some sort of success either asked the right person the right questions or developed a system in place based on what the successful people have already done prior to them. So I don't have to stress myself trying to find out how, because someone's already done it. Nothing's new under the sun. And even if they haven't done it, i.e. Netflix, they completely obliterated blockbusters. However, prior to doing that, they copied what Blockbuster was doing. Why? Because what Blockbuster was doing was working. They just made it slightly better. They made it slightly more efficient. Right? So unless it's like chores or something that helps enhance my peace, I didn't have the time for it. Oh, let's go to this. I don't have the time. Let's go play football. Don't have the time. Why? This is what I'm trying to be. So unless this helps me, and don't get me wrong, you don't have to be that strict. Like, I don't believe in being so rigid. It's just I prioritize these things over these things. So unless I've achieved, if I hit my target, great, I can do those things, no problem. But if I didn't hit my target, then what am I doing? Go hit your targets, bro. That's your standard, right? So I decided to also let go of things that weren't going to align or affect my immediate future. So that's even when it came to opportunities. The one thing I realized is that there's so many opportunities out there, and the sad bit or the sad truth to it is, as much as there's so many opportunities to it, unfortunately you can't do it all. I remember when I first got into it, I remember I wanted to do everything. Anything that made money, I was in. I was hungry. I was like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. That's not how it works. And not that I want to discuss that into more detail, but I had to say no to a lot of opportunities. And I am praying this shit works. Because if it doesn't, I have a lot of apologies to make. Weekly check-ins. Now, what that means is every week, if there's one thing I've learned from a career, is you need to be accountable for your time. What did you do with your time? Monday, did you hit your daily targets? Tuesday, did you hit your daily targets? Wednesday, did you hit your daily targets? And then, I think I've mentioned this before, but it's good to have these KPIs meetings on weekends, Fridays or Saturdays, and then start your week from there. Why do I say that? If you haven't gone gym, you can at least have Saturday and Sunday to make up for it. But if that's not the case, then just do not procrastinate. Everything you're doing, act now, especially if you haven't hit your target. Your standard is your word. You have to make a bond with your standard. If you say rain or snow, this is what I'm settling for, then that has to be, you cannot go back on your word. And you need to understand, as you're building yourself, as you're building who you are, you need to be someone that can bet on yourself. You want to build self-confidence, you want to trust your instincts. You have to trust that whatever you say you're going to do, you are actually going to work on doing it. It might not work or go to plan, but if you say, today, this is what I'm going to do, and you're actually going to do it, eventually you're going to develop the ability to control and develop that discipline that, despite how you feel, get you doing the things that you say or not. Now, before I go into that, I just want to add as well. If there's something I've learned from recruitment is KPIs. KPI yourself. What are my daily tasks in order for me to reach my end goal? If my end goal is I want to make so and so amount, or I want to get to so and so weight, how many sessions do I need to get in weekly? It simplifies it and it breaks it down and makes it a lot more realistic. When you make things a lot more realistic, they're a lot more easier to achieve. So in other words, when you utilize KPIs to track your progress, you can actually see how close or far you are to your end goal. So that's my advice in regards to number 6. At number 7, I'm going to put, be someone of your word. Do not break bond. I think I learned this from David Goggins. Your word is your bond. You say, especially as a man, you're a bitch if you cannot come through when you say you're gonna come through. You give your word is your bond. That's it. Nothing less, nothing more. You wanna be, if you don't like liars, then don't lie to yourself. Simple as. You say you're gonna do something, you do it. It can be small. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna fight back. I'm gonna stop watching TV. I'm gonna stop eating junk for the week. Stop eating junk for the week. Just build. I think it's difficult, of course, when you're trying to do things and you're setting big targets and whatnot. But if you start small and just develop and build something steadily, eventually you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna be able to apply these things into different areas. The reality of the matter is creating habits that you can stick to. How do you stick to them? You create a space where it's easy for you to commit to these things because you can see the benefits. How do you see the benefits? This takes me to the bonus points. Now, if I had said to you that all these points were all that was necessary enough for me to become this disciplined person and achieve all these things that I said I've achieved, there'll be a lie. The reality of the matter is, I saw myself a few years from now. I saw this guy, successful, happy, and proud of the things he achieved. Right? How did I get there? Is the question. I got there because I stopped. And I actually learned this from one of Alex Moses' interviews. See yourself in the future. See yourself 40 years old, 50 years old, 60, 70. And you're looking back at your life and you say, wow, I remember when I had to be this disciplined person and build my physique. I had to be this disciplined person and build my mindset. And then work your way backwards and say, oh wow, I am glad I made these decisions. And come back to today and ask yourself again, do you really want to miss gym? Do you really not want to read that book? Do you really not want to make the impact that God, I believe in God, right? But that God has placed you in this earth to make happen. Right? It's your choice. No one's holding a gun to your head. It's down to you. So you've got to make a choice now and say, alright, I've worked my way backwards. I've seen myself 60, 80 years old. What am I going to be doing daily in order to achieve these targets? That's how I do it. Every single morning I visualize myself. I see the beach house. I see all these things that I want to achieve. And I'm not there yet. Right? But I know that by applying the things I've just said in this video, plus this final one, which is the bonus, and the reason why I'm sharing it now is because I can really appreciate the fact that you've taken your time to watch this video. I know that, especially if the person is a stranger, I'm like, bro, I'm not really going. Even if you're a budget, I'm gonna watch this if it benefits. So if this has genuinely benefited you, I have to give you this gem that changed everything for me. Envision yourself and then work your way backwards. I promise you, you're gonna be doing things with so much drive, so much energy, so much pain, so much determination. Right, if this video has helped you, if this video has helped, share in the comments how you feel. Okay. appreciate the growth. I appreciate the people coming in. I appreciate your time. So, with that said, guys,